Welcome to episode 121 of the Gritty Women Global podcast. I'm a results coach, and we focus on the area of wellness and mindset. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with y'all because prior to my beginning this growth journey, I was caught up in the comparison trap. I'm not just kidding you. And then in my spare time, I was literally trapped by the opinions of other people. I mean, it was more like living in a mental prison. And then one day I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that, but it was just like I drew that line in the sand. And it was so interesting because that day, I remember exactly where I was in my office. But that day, everything began to change. I mean, it was like when I began to change the way that I looked at things, the things that I looked at began to change. So today, we're just going to think together, just lean into this area of what holds us back. And a lot of times we're not really even aware that our thoughts and our programming are literally holding us back. Oftentimes I hear people, if I'm talking with someone, coaching with someone, they'll say, I'm so tired of starting over. Or I just can't seem to push through to the next level. And more times than not, when we drill down and get to the root cause, this is what we discover. So today, just give yourself permission to think into, just kind of set the intention. And let's think about what holds us back. Because we all have thought of things that we want to do. We all have those dreams, whatever you call them. Some people call it a bucket list. Some people call it, they want to change a career or change a relationship or change their financial status. Oftentimes people will write those things down in a special, goal book, journal, vision board, a lot of those things. Maybe you've shared these ideas with somebody close to you. You get excited, you get going. Then the momentum begins to wane, and then all of a sudden, that book, these things are written in, or the sticky notes, the book sits on the shelf, or the sticky note that you wrote it down and put on your mirror, remember all that? They fall off, you don't put it back, and then they're just filed in that forever someday maybe, which usually means never happens. So I don't know if you're like me, but usually when we have an idea, we immediately jump to the how. And it's funny too, because if you share your dreams with certain people, they say, how are you going to do that? You don't have a studio, or you don't have the capabilities to do that. Where are your customers going to come from? Who's going to buy this? How are you going to market this? And we always want to know how it's going to happen. How can we make it happen? And really at first, in the very beginnings of this dream, we really don't need to concern ourselves with the how. But what needs to be so laser focused, so clear, is that we need to create the image in our mind of what we can see. What does it look like? And when we have that so rock solid, then the how will come. One thing I have truly discovered is keeping my mind free of clutter. Now, if you're wired like me, which I think a lot of thoughts, we all think, over 70,000 thoughts a day. Everybody does. But, I'm always constantly creating new things and new thoughts. But we have to free our mind of this clutter. And it really helps in creating a laser focus. And then once we've created that clear image of that thing that we want, then this is where the nitty gritty comes in. We got to commit to being able to create it. We're not even talking about living anywhere near a comfort zone. The comfort zone shouldn't even exist really in your life. And that's a necessity. We have to live so far away from any zone that is comfortable to ever walk into our purpose and be who we're created to be. And you might have to slay some giants along the way. So get ready for that too. Nobody is sailing into the goal achievement without some type of sacrifice. And I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be honest. I have limiting beliefs. Now I have slayed a bunch of them, honestly, and I've created new beliefs. But they will still pop up. They creep in, and when you least expect it. Maybe they're reminding you of times in the past that you've tried and failed. Well, guess what? Just embrace that, because those thoughts, they will never totally go away. But I've found, and I'm sure you have too if you've experienced this, but when you create these new systems, it's like having a new default system. It's like if you have your GPS plugged in and you take a wrong turn, it reroutes you. So having these positive systems are like a GPS that reroutes you. You don't just cancel the trip and turn around and go home. You just are rerouted. You still have the same goal. So it's a new system of beliefs. And then and only then will you be able to break through the temptation to quit. Y'all, our dreams cannot withstand the luxury of a negative thought. We cannot entertain. We can't get stuck in that drifting pattern of, ain't it awful? And, who's going to help me? And this is never going to happen. And it's raining. And, I just stumped my toe. And ain't it awful? No, we can't do it. Self-limiting beliefs are doubts and fears that attempt to derail our dreams. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So we cannot afford those thoughts. Now I want you to think about this. And of course, you don't know how to do it all if it's something you've never done before. None of us did it. Whether it's riding a bike, learning multiplication, learning to count in Spanish, whatever the thing is, we didn't know how the first time. And I remember a few years ago, I was on a live interview. And I just kind of blurted this out. I'm launching my podcast next week. I mean, I said it in front of everybody that was listening that day. And that recording was played over and over. So a lot of people heard me. I got off that interview, y'all, and I about barfed. I mean, I am not a techie. And I had no clue. I had no clue how to record a podcast. But you know what? I figured it out. I contacted some people that had had success in that area because I was determined and committed to this dream. And trust me, I mean, I've flushed a lot of dreams down the toilet because of my commitment level, because of limiting beliefs that were not slayed at that time. But we just have to keep focusing on the image of you doing the thing. Keep it before you all the time. And yes, if you have to write it on sticky notes and plaster it on your fridge, in the bathroom mirror, in your car, on your cell phone, in your bed, on your forehead, I don't know where you got to put it, but do it. Do whatever it takes. And then once that commitment is set and you're willing and able to move forward, then you know what? You are entering into the land of gold achievement. And y'all, I'm telling you, it's an empowering place. It's a powerful process because you're moving from it being just a thought, a dream in your mind, to a real thing. You begin to see things and they begin to draw you closer to your dream. They were there all along. But now that your dream is just cemented like concrete into your awareness, into your mind, into your heart, you're seeing it clearly. It's funny. It's like, and I know y'all have experienced this. It's like if you decide you want let's just say a new red convertible, what do you start seeing on the road? Yep, you're right. You see new red convertibles. Or maybe you want a new Australian shepherd puppy. That would be me. And what happens? You begin to see them everywhere. Yep, they appear. But it's because of your belief that you're moving from that dream to a reality. You've raised your awareness. Those things were there all along. But now that it's in your conscious and your subconscious, and it's something you're talking about and thinking about, you begin to see it clearly. Here's an example. This just happened to me. There's a green notebook in my office, and it's been with me for 30 years. I created some content when my children, my firstborn son was about a year old, and I began to write. And I'd pick it up, dust it off from time to time, and then suddenly one morning, within the last 6 months, during my quiet time, I dug it out of the closet and I began to flip through the pages, and I knew that it was time. The very first thing that popped in my head, after I said it's time for me to do something with this content was, how are you going to do this? But I began to write out the dream so clearly that I could see it, and I could see the finished product, and I could see the people who would be encouraged by it. I mean, I can see it. Let me ask you this. What can you see? What can you see right now that is so clear, that is a dream that's on your heart of something that you want to create and do and put into the world? It's been such an amazing process. Since then, I have a video director. He is awesome. If you need one, ever, Andrew Manzano. Let me just give a shout out to him. I have a content creator, and my website is being redesigned as we speak. Oh, and I have a launch date. That would be April 1st. And I don't share this with you to impress you, but to impress upon you that if I can, you can, y'all. I can't say that enough. And what's so funny is that this is a digital product. And remember, I'm not a techie. I'm the one that didn't even know how to start with a podcast. So what is the thing? You know, that dream in your heart that keeps popping up. I just want to encourage y'all today to get you a piece of paper and start writing it down. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. Just start writing it down. Draw a picture of it. Paint a picture of it. I don't know. Record it on your notes in your phone. Make an audio recording of it. I don't know, but clarify the image of how it looks and commit to it. And guess what? Before long, you'll be a guest on our podcast telling the world about how your dream came to be. I cannot say this enough, y'all, but there has never been a better time in the world to hit refresh, renew, and redo your dreams. Yes, I agree. Right now, things are a little shaky. I know, they're unpredictable. We don't know really what's happening right in the next hour, much less a year from now. We couldn't have predicted the last 3 years. But honestly, we've never been in control in the first place. So just take this time. As really globally, we're all hitting refresh and redo. We're all in the same boat. It's an equal playing field. So I can't wait to hear about your idea and your dream. The dream that's going to push you down the playing field of life. And yes, when you fall, gritty girl, gritty sister, I want you to get right back up. It's time for you to get off the benches, off the sidelines, and get into the game. Quit sitting in the stands. It's time for you to shine. And remember, gritty is the new strong. And hey, if you need to reach out, you can contact me. You can text me at 850-290-2446. Again, you can text me. Just text connect to 850-290-2446. I'll see you next week. Love ya. Lynn.